Hey guys, what's up? We're here in London Heathrow today. We're going to be doing a flight from London Heathrow here to New York Newark Airport, and we've decided to take this 777 200ER out for another flight. Absolutely enjoying this aircraft. And I've got this old, brings back memories when I used to go to Auckland Airport as a kid. Seeing this aircraft was always a highlight. I do remember vaguely the livery before this, the stripes, but this is the livery that I do remember very vividly on our trips to Auckland Airport. I'm just going to pause this quickly and just see if I can get this the traffic to load up, because there's no AI traffic at the moment, so just bear with me. I'll just see if I can bring that up. Right, we seem to have got the traffic. That's not as busy as I've hoped it to be, but we've got a few aircraft scattered around. But yeah, here we are with the stunning gunmetal grey United Airlines livery. We're going to be doing a flight, as I mentioned, from London down to over the pond to New York, and yeah, we'll be taking this aircraft out for another spin. I'm really enjoying this. I do like the 777-200. I'm really happy I got this. I mean, there was a point when I thought, it's just the same thing. The 777-300 and the 200, but no, I'm glad I got this. It's definitely something unique, and it's got a different feel to it. I do like this livery I got from Flight Sim TO. It's got the it's a bit of like a hash livery. It's got like this nose cone is the connection to the next livery, which would have been their last livery. But yeah, I'm not too sure what that livery is called, but I do remember it being not my favourite livery before they became part of is it Continental that they merged with? But yeah, here we are. I do like this livery. It's a really nice livery. But yeah, we'll get into the aircraft and we'll get it all powered up, and we'll see how well FS HUD guides us, because I believe there's a lot of vectoring in most US airports. Yeah, let's jump in and we'll get this plane all. As you can see, it's I do like having the windows open. It just has that cool vibe to it. But as you can see, it's I left it in a basically a turnaround state to make it random. It's like the previous flight. They've been messing around with this, so anyway, we'll oh man, my voice gets all croaky when I do this. So we'll just reset all of our checklists, so it's back to the very beginning, and we will go through and we'll set this aircraft up for takeoff for our flight. But yeah, it's in a condition that was left in our previous flight that we did, to give it that sort of random feel to it. Right, let's get in and let's start up this flight, eh? So everything up here is as it should be for a turnaround state. Got the power, the external power, and the APU all generating. Seatbelt signs off. All of these wing anti-ices are off. So yeah, let's bring up this sim brief flight plan that I did, and away we go with our programming the FMC. Right, we'll update our airport, which is EGLL. And we'll just copy and paste that into here. No, it doesn't seem to. I think it's because this is like a turnaround state. I don't think I need to worry about that. Right, we'll go into our next page and we will set up our flight plan. I do like the ease of this, being able to just load everything in as so. It's brilliant. And remember, don't go too fast and click activate just yet like I find myself doing. Just wait for it to say, then you can push this load button. And it should come up with the activation button soon. And you sort of just make sure everything looks pretty legit with all of these waypoints. I'm pretty happy with that, so I will go to activate, execute, perf init, and then I'm just going to make sure what my initial cruise altitude is. Yep, 34,000 feet, so I just click into here, bring up the zero fuel weight, loads up, accept, and then before I forget, I go to my legs page and I'll load up my wind chart, execute, and then I go into my descent, load up the descent winds. That looks about right. I'll go back into the init page and then we can do, first we need to find out which our runway is that we're going to take off from. So we'll load up FS HUD and see what they do. Right, I'm just going to load in my username, which is right, just going to set my altitude up in here. Perfect. We will import that flight and we will get it all set up. Right, we're going to pull the handbrake, so you need to push it again, then just push it one more time to bring it up onto here. Everything's all looking good with that. Oh yeah, we'll push the magic B button to bring our altimeters in. Right, we're going to start our flight. I'm going to go to the next page and yeah, we'll close up the doors. We'll get it all ready for takeoff. So we'll get rid of all of the ground surfaces. Go to our doors page and we're going to arm all the doors. See, they're all green, so that means they were all armed. And we'll just keep the ground power unit just for the time being. So we're going to take off runway 27 left. Actually, I'm going to remove these ground power units now, and we will get it sort of set up for our, turn on all these hydraulics, turn on our fuel pumps, and turn our seatbelt sign to on, and we'll just go through these. And we'll do our performance calculations. Import from our aircraft, import the weather, calculate. So takeoff 1, 47, so we do the takeoff 1 first, then 47. Flaps 5 it was, and we'll just enter in the winds quickly too, 40/4. I'll just push this magic button here to bring up our trims. That looks pretty good. 579, 579. We'll set up 9 up here, 59 up here. And then we want to bring up our runway heading for our takeoff. Which is already set. And we can turn on our flight directors, and we will go through and just tick these off. We'll set our trim now, which is 6, so we can just come down here and just the other way. Perfect. Now I'm just going to use my pushback thing that I use. Before I do that, I'll better get clearance for pushback. So it's basically, as soon as you take off, we want to do this hard turn right around it, like so. Actually, we set up for the wrong runway, that's right. Actually, I might change the runway actually, because in real life at the moment they're using, all of the aircraft are using 09 at the moment, so we will yeah, let's use 09 for this departure because I've already got it set up in SimBrief. I mean, not, yeah, 09, yep. All right, we'll apply that and we'll use that one, okay? And we'll change our runway heading for that. That star, that SID we're going to use. So we'll go into here, we'll change it to I'm just going to update our heading to 89. Right, well, I think we're ready to go now. Turn on our beacon light. And we'll start our pushback. It's a stunning livery. This, I do like this livery very much. Alright, we'll turn on our engines now. And we'll turn on the transponder as well. I do like that sound of the rattling engine starting up. Right, that'll do. That's close enough. Alright, I think it's time to start up engine number 2. And while the engine's starting up, we will just check our flight controls. Everything seems to be looking pretty good. Right, we can now start our we'll close our window too while we're here before we forget. Need to push this down here and that winds it shut. And make sure you lock it and bring that up as so. Yep. Done that. Ground equipment are all clear. Select flaps 5 for our takeoff. Oh, and we'll turn on our emergency lights up here. And I'm just going to bring up my Shift C stats. And we don't need any anti-ice at the moment, but we do have if that's set to off, and we've got our AC running as normal, and we'll just do our landing dispatch. Oh, not that one. It looks good. Right, and we are ready to go, folks. We will start our taxi, release the parking brake, bit of throttle, and we'll turn on our landing lights and our, oh, not our landing lights, our taxi lights. And we'll turn off our APU, we do not need that anymore. We can now go to our next page and have that ready for our departure, but everything is looking good. And we'll just arm our LNAV and VNAV while we're here. And we'll see how well this laptop of mine does with this taking off from this very resource heavy part of the world. Not as busy as I hoped it to be at London Heathrow here. It's a bit quiet and a bit empty. And there's the famous Concorde that's parked up at the maintenance hangar there at British Airways hangar maintenance facilities there at the airport. Just wait for that center line just to go back behind the seat here, and we'll start our hard turn. Which kind of has brought us on straight onto the center line. Just need to get a bit more thrust going to get that speed up again. And while it's doing its thing, we'll just see what our step climb is. We'll just quickly add that in while we're taxiing down the runway. So at this fix here, we'll be stepping up to 36,000 feet. So we'll go into our legs page and we'll just find that. So recal, which is that there, we'll just type in 360S. Enter it into here and execute. And just making sure the step climb is selected as so. And here I'm using Flight Simulator 2024 for this. Apart from the BAE and the Fokker F-27, this is, and of course the PMG 737s, this has been my default sim now. I just find the I mean, it's still got its little quirks and bugs and whatnot, but so far I get quite a lot of enjoyment flying this, using this the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And I think we might be conflicting with the traffic because ATC will probably be directing the traffic onto runway. Yeah, they're going to be using the other runway, but for the purpose of this little flight here, we'll just be taking off from this runway. I'm not too sure if it's going to be flying over London City, but we'll be flying over that part of London anyway, so we'll just see how well it does flying over there. As long as you guys are happy with that, I'm happy with that. Alright, what we will do is we will set our... I'll just turn that off. That's from the previous flight that I did. We will select this to that setting, and we'll turn on our weather radar. Being London and all, being the UK, it's pretty flat around these parts of the world, so we don't need the terrain map for this. Oh, that's interesting. 747-400 there. Oh, that's the 800 series. Should be parked over there somewhere. Yeah, it's just a bit quiet for my liking at the moment, but maybe it's a good thing because I think these aircraft would probably all, especially the FSTR that I use for the traffic, is quite a resource heavy package, so I'll just accept that. As you can see, my frame per second is not the best. Hopefully we'll get to the runway before he does, so we can take off without too much bother. And we can now start our turn onto the runway, and we'll get ready for our takeoff. Alright, we'll turn on our strobe lights and our landing lights. Ready for departure. And we'll just spool up the engines. Click on the little magic button up here for toga, and listen to the roar of the engines as we take off. Watch out, little car. And land gear up. And this is when we start basically our immediate turn to the right. And we're just going to let autopilot take over now and just enjoy the view. Flying out of a very stereotypical grey UK day. Right, we'll turn on these anti-ice engine anti-ice now. Flaps 1 can now come up. And then we can go to the next page and just get rid of that now. We'll just bring up the fuel page, because we're low on fuel in the center tanks, so we'll be turning those off very shortly. As we brake, it's always a nice feeling when you brake out of that, especially if it's fog, when you brake out of that cloud and you've got this beautiful blue sunshine. And we can now go into standard. Now they've given us flight level, so we'll just go into standard, and we'll just disregard these altitude restrictions. We'll just pretend we've been given clearance to climb straight up to cruising altitude. Because I don't think FS HUD is at that level yet where they just disregard, because I think in real, when I've been like watching aircraft on flight radar, they often you see them climbing up above 6,000 feet there, so we'll just pretend that we've been given clearance to, and just to carry on the climb, we just push this altitude button a few times and then it will continue the climb. Right, I think that's everything now. What we will do is we'll release the passengers. I think we're above. We're at a sort of a nice clean air now. I'm just assuming, so we can release the passengers. Once we get above 10,000 feet, we can turn off our landing lights and our taxi lights. And we can turn off, we don't need our logo light anymore. And while we're at it, we might as well, we'll wait for this to drain out completely, then we'll turn off our center fuel tanks. Yeah, what a lovely day to be leaving low cloud London, eh? And get up into that nice clean blue skies. And we'll turn off those fuel tanks now, and we will let you enjoy the rest of the flight, and we'll get back to you when we're coming into land. Right guys, we're not far from our top of descent. That was a very, very fast flight, wasn't it? It's amazing what you can achieve on a 7-hour flight when you use a bit of sim rate. Like I say guys, in a few videos in the past, it's there to be used. Like if you want to do these big long transatlantic, transoceanic flights in real time, go ahead, you can do whatever you want, but this is a game at the end of the day, and you want to make it as easy as possible for those who don't have time but want to have the achievement of doing these long flights. Just utilize sim rate. It's such a good tool to use, I reckon. So with that in mind, we've been given our clearance for this arrival that I've already set into the FMC, so we'll be following this arrival here. And if you guys let me know, say it's given me the QNH. Do I enter that now? Do I still have to wait below before I go to standard? I just put it in because I'll probably forget what it is, and I don't want to find it annoying sometimes having to scroll up, but I'm just going to enter it in now. That's if I can select it. So it's 10:16. And we will see what the weather is going to be like in Newark Liberty Airport. It's going to be a bit of a windy day there today, so a bit warm too actually. And we have started our descent, so I'll just add a bit of spoilers out just to bring it back onto profile. And visibility, I'll just play it safe, and we'll just go with cat to approach. And we've caught up now, so I can just release the speed brakes and dial in our minimums, which is, I'll go with cat 2A, which is going to be, radio is going to be 100, if I can click it without clicking on everything else. I'm just going to slow it down a bit so I can do this without it getting away from me. And we'll set up our landing chart. So we'll go with flaps 25 today, because I think this airport is quite a, it's all just predominantly it's all mainly jet aircraft operating at this airport, and it's a very busy airport too, so I'm going to go with flaps 25 to keep that speed up. You just have to click it a couple of times to get it imported, that I found on here. And going off these last few flights, they basically roll off right at the end, so we'll keep it at flaps at auto brake free. And we'll just disengage it when we get closer to our exit point. But we're now breaking through the clouds here. What we will do is we'll turn on the seatbelt sign. I'll get the logo light already and set. Into a reasonably nice day here in the US. And we'll see how well FS HUD does with this. Before I won't forget to do this. Init reference, go select flaps 25, copy and paste into there like so, and go back to the legs page. I might have this one up for reference as well. Alright, we will now turn on the landing lights. We're getting to that altitude now. We can turn on those too, so they're all ready to go. And I should get some spoilers out so we can bring that speed back into 250. And we'll go into our checklist while we remember, and just go through, click through all of these checklists. So all of that's been done. Altimeter's been set. And we've just got received a speed restriction, so we better select that in. $210 knots. And it's at a 15 or 16 knots, like a 15, so I better set that to altimeter to 15. And we'll be expecting vectors, so I'll just get that ready to go. And we better release some more speed brakes to get that carry on with our descent. Try and keep it on that profile. I'm just going to release bit of flaps, and we'll descend to our final altitude, which is going to be 1700 feet. And we've got our first vector, so we'll go select our heading mode, and 140 is our and we'll get those speed brakes back in. We'll just arm them so they're ready to go, so I don't forget. So far so good. I do enjoy FS HUD. I haven't got the other options, but I do find this is quite fun to use. However, this is in the real world, it's a lot better than it is on the default ATC, that's for sure. Isn't that right? Right, we'll just sort of fix it up a bit, because if I'm going to do 035, it will take me off course a bit, but we will now go into localizer mode. It seemed to be doing alright. I think there's a few little bugs there. Either that or it's trying to keep me away from this traffic here. Right, we'll get rid of this warning thing for the traffic, and we will just activate our approach now so that we don't miss the diamond. We might have to cache it up a bit. I think we've missed it. Right, we've captured the ILS. Just going to line up on the localizer, and we are ready to peel back the speed for our peel back that speed to our landing speed, which is 143. And we'll turn off the weather radar, we don't need that, we'll select it to terrain. And we will hope that our computer, my little laptop, meets the demand. But it looks like we've all established on the ILS. I'm just going to see what my go around altitude is. So it's going to be 3,000, so I'll select 3,000. Better arm my speed brake as well, and then we'll get rid of that checklist, and we are ready to land. A nice day landing into Newark, not to be confused with New York. This is technically not in New York State, as I found out once. This is New Jersey, I believe it is. But in the distance, in real life, you'll be able to see the skyline of New York. I've just got my load settings down to, oh, because I touched the joystick, it's disconnected my autopilot. Right, I'm going to take control of the plane now, and hopefully the my laptop keeps up with the demand. Well, it's not looking too good, folks. Hopefully it sorts itself out. It's hard to decipher whether this is just turbulence or whether it's the frames per minute. I think that's going to be a bit of both, I reckon. Oh, we're getting a bit too slow. It's hard to know what's happening here. But it's not going to be pretty, that's for sure, but 30, we will...
20, 10.
And touchdown. I think it was touchdown a little bit before then. Oh, I'm just getting a bit all over the place now with this. But we've made it, folks. We've managed to touch down without too much drama. And we will turn off the landing lights, the strobe lights, and we'll taxi on to gate, which we will change actually. I'm just going to see which gate it is that I'm going to... 56, so I'm going to... does not exist. I'll just go 54 then. Oops, I'm not actually off the runway, sorry folks. And we can get that APU fired up. Turn off these runway lights. We're just going to pretend we've been given clearance to cross the runway. And we will quickly come down here and change this to the transponder. Did I? Well, that wasn't the most prettiest of landings. It was a bit, as expected. My laptop was struggling just a little bit there with the with everything that it needed to load into the game, but it wasn't too bad. I'm just going to clear these little amber lights here because everything's all accounted for, and we will get the crew to do the walk around to disarm all of the doors. And we'll just make sure we're still taxiing. Alright. Yeah, here we are folks. We're arrived into Newark Airport. I hope you enjoyed that little flight, that little 6-hour flight that we just did within an hour or so. And I think, guys, I will do a flight to São Paulo next for my next flight down to Brazil. So stay tuned. I'll actually do a turnaround flight straight off the bat and head off down to Brazil. But yeah, we're now coming up to the gate where the last British Airways flight used in real life, which is, I wanted to park there, but there was no gate available. Or there was a gate available, just didn't come up, so we will see where this goes. So not this one, but that one. Alright, we'll turn off my landing light, my taxi lights. Just do a bit of braking there just to get it back onto. For a moment there I was wondering how that all worked, but yeah, we just do this little turn into here like so. Oi! That was the cat just escape. I'm trying to get onto the table. Sorry for that. And that is us, folks. We have now made it to our gate, so we'll shut down these engines. Turn off the strobe light. The beacon light, I should say. Shut these down. We can now release the passengers. And that is us, folks. Just gonna get that, set the chocks, release, request the ground power unit. And yeah, thanks heaps for being a part of that flight, folks, and we will get back to you soon with the flight down to Sao Paulo. Until then, you take care, and we'll see you in the next video.